Hi there, this is Canadian Alarms. And in today's video, I'm going to be going to do an overview of an EST Quickstart. So to start off with, the EST Quickstart is available in multiple different ranges and sizes. What you are currently looking at is an EST Quickstart or a QS4 size of CPU, which is the largest you can get. But the cabinet is the standard size of a QS, or it's called a QS5 cabinet, which is a 5-slot cabinet. You can also go up one size to a QS2 5 cabinet, which is a 12-slot cabinet. You can also get retrofit kits for these that can fit in other panels. This is the QS4. The QS4 can handle up to 4 SLC cards and up to 40 zones of conventional devices, or however many cards it can fit, up to 40 zones. And it's able to support up to 96 dry contact relays and 4.5 amps of FWR power to NACS or 16 NACS. So it is a pretty flexible panel. It does have some downfalls. I will go through all the downfalls with this video, but that is the QS4. There is a smaller version of the QS4, which is called the QS1, and the QS1 is half the size. So it's missing this one annunciation block, and it's about half that size, and it can only do addressable points. I think it can only do 4 SLC or 2 SLC cards or something like that. Then after that, to the smallest version is a QSC, or the Quickstart Conventional, which is, well, I got a CPU here, which is the same size as a QS4, but it's just a smaller screen, and it can only handle addressable or conventional cards. And this is a 12-zone card with 4 NACs, and they are DIN rail mountable, which I'll show you in a little bit what a DIN rail is. So when you open up the Quickstart, this Quickstart here is a Canadian model. It has a front door display cover, which is great in a way because it's only accessible with a key, and you can have disabling points on the annunciation block if you wanted to. The control panel over here is pretty basic. You have a lock here, or a controls enable lock for the controls underneath the flat. You can disable that with a jumper in the back. I'll show you later on the back of the CPU. Right next to it, underneath this cover, that is an RS-232 port for a barcode scanner, so you can program labels and stuff without the software through a barcode scanner. And also, if you ever look at a SIGA device, you'll see a barcode for the address, and you can scan your address into the panel. But if this is the unique part of a Quickstart, is that you can use the same CPU as a annunciator. So if this was being used as an annunciator, you would do the programming through the RS-232 port. There are for the J11 jack or something like that. I can't remember through that port. And if it is the main panel, you do the RS-232, as you probably can see it up there. It's hanging off the back. You can do it through the onboard port through the PS6 power supply, which I'll have to show you. So this is the front cover. You got all your, there's a bunch of videos on this, so you can take a look. But you know, you got your basic controls down here. But if you take a look inside the cabinet, you have the CPU, which is covered by a cover here onto the back. Batteries, you can fit up to, I think, 13 amp batteries. 12 amp batteries won't work. 12 amp hour batteries will not work in this. It's too small. You can't fit 18 amp hour batteries. You have to fit 13 amp hour batteries within the cabinet. If you need to go bigger, you have to get a battery cabinet for underneath the panel. So yeah, 13 amp hour batteries are kind of rare to come around here, at least. We have to pre-order them. You have a power, or you have a transformer down here to the PS6 power supply card. 120 connection there. Batteries here. Obviously, this is British Columbia, so this has had to be verified by someone. I try not to reveal their name. That's when the system was initially installed and commissioned. So you got your PS6. Actually, no, I'll zoom in. All right, so now you're looking at the cards within the panel I have installed. This is a PS6 power supply. This will provide up your all your power, and this is the main communication through to all your cards through the CPU. So the CPU is actually on the door. Everything's within the CPU door, which is off your screen. But up here you have alarm relay, or trouble relay, and a supervisory relay. You got a programmable relay, or what you can set as a dry contact point. Smoke power, aux power, RS485 for your serial communication, and then next to that is your RS232 to your laptop, your computer. Down below, you have your battery connection, your riser power for your cards, or your aux power, which will be can also used as your aux power to the annunciator. You have a fail-safe jumper up here, and you also have a smoke power jumper over here. You can read the manual and figure those out. Over here you have a rail bus communication LED on each card, and as it clicks they pull, and actually they're flashing right now. I don't know what the click is for sure. I think it may be a charging thing, or it could be a feature of the panel of how it pulls. I'm not sure. Anyway, the card next to the PS6 in this panel is the SLC card. So up here you have two NACs. Let me just get that in view for you. Yeah, there you go. So you got two NACs up here, which I am not using currently, and I'll show you a video of why in a little bit. And kind of a major design flaw with this, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So this is the QS, or the SLC card. An SLC card can have up to 250 devices per card, which is like simplex. And devices means modules, smoke detectors, pole stations, heat detectors, anything that is out in the field. Unlike system sensor protocol panels, you can have up to 250 devices. Doesn't matter if it's 250 modules or 250 smoke detectors. It doesn't really matter. It's like simplex in that way. With like a fire panel or a Miracom panel, you have to have, I think, 98 or 99 modules and 99 smoke detectors on a loop. Last time I checked, I think you can go up to 259 per side now. Depends on if you're using flash scan or not. At the bottom of the card here, you have your power that comes in here, feeds power to the NAC and to the card. That goes there. There's the SLC that comes out, and the back end, if you have it wired as a Class A. Right now I have wired as a Class B. Right below the, right above the SLC coming in or coming out, you have an LED here that shows the pulling of the SLC, so you know the SLC is alive. You can see that the cards are pulling. So that is good. This is the ZN/16, I believe it's called. This is the 16 zone conventional card. And so basically it's a 16 zone conventional card. There's nothing really to it. So you got 9 zones above. You only have 12 zones up to this point here. So this is 12 zones. Then you have your 4 NACs along here, and then you got 2 riser power inputs from the PS6. Now you can see that there's a dip switch here, there's a dip switch here, there's a dip switch here. These are to set your addresses on each card within the programming. So this is card 1, card 2, card 3. This is card 15. And the CPU is card 0. Now, here's a design flaw I don't like. I didn't really notice this until I was working on one day. I'll share a clip after I explain it. But there seems to be a lag between the modules when it goes into alarm. So in other words, this will start doing code 3, and then these will start doing code 3. Then another card will start doing code 3, and then another, and it has a good like second delay between them, and it's not maybe like 50 milliseconds, and the whole thing is out of sync because this card's going, this card's going, this card's going at a different pace, and I'll show a video of it right now. So as you can see, that might not be good in a building, particularly with syncing with strobes, and to be honest with you, as long as you separate them between floors or whatever, and you're not sharing the same space, I think it'd be fine. So yeah. Next to it here, I have a CR8 module, I think they're called. Yeah, ZR8 is exactly what it's called. This is a relay module. You can program these as a dry contact within the software, or you can program them to points and have them as dry contacts. I wouldn't have elevator recall running through the panel, but you could, or you can have fire doors or security or even monitoring. If you have a lot of points for monitoring or whatever, you can use them for monitoring. And the things right there. Now, back to the thing I was mentioning about DIN rail. This is called DIN rail. It's a fancy word, a German word. I can't remember what it's called. It is a, it means something. I can't remember what it's called. It is used for industrial pieces, such as a relay, power supply, thermocouple controller or a heat controller, contactor, PLCs, you name it. You can put it all on this if it has a DIN rail. I personally wouldn't put high voltage equipment in this, but you will see DIN rail in high voltage cabinets or control cabinets in that matter. If you ever seen videos of my videos in the past, you will see I have a wall behind me typically which is actually right beside me, of PLCs and contactors and safety relays and timers and contactors, and actually I have a couple VFDs on there as well. More to get in that in a little bit, but yeah, so this is a standard size of what a DIN rail is, and this is the same size. So if I wanted to, I can take this and pop it right on there, and now that ain't going anywhere. That relay is in there. This one is kind of a bear to get out, so I'm going to leave that one in there for later. So this is the inside of a QS4, and I will pop the cover off the CPU, and I'll show you what's inside the CPU. Alright, so this is what the CPU looks like on the back half. So this is your LCD display here. These are your communication lights. X bus TX, which doesn't, I don't know what the hell that's probably the that's actually the rail bus communication, because that's pulsing at the same size. These are probably for the RS-232, the TX and RX for the computer, so you can see those communicating. Back here you have your piezo, a header for something, probably for factory use. This is your key switch here, and you'll see that P2 or J2 is right underneath it, and I've got that jumpered out right now. So I took the jumper out like I just did. The controls are now disabled, and now the controls are enabled, so that would just plug right into there, and you use your key switch on the front half, and that is of course grounded to the panel. It's bonded, and then you have the back half of the of that port that I was showing you earlier. So that concludes of the back of the CPU. Alright, so this was a video and a demonstration and overview of the Quickstart. Not really much of a demonstration. It is quite late at night right now, and I don't want to be making noise out here right at the moment. So again, this is a Quickstart overview, and we went over the QS4 version of the Quickstart. Similar to the QS1. QS1 is only addressable, of course. Hopefully I'll be able to get another video out soon of the programming of this within the software that is available online. And until next time, have a great day. Bye.